Greetings, world and family. I am Richard,
And I am Gary.
and together we are rocking Pandora's box.
Box!
Woo!
Woohoo!
We love you, family.
Mwah!
Oh, beautiful golden family. We are so thrilled and pleased today to bring to you like one of our most beloved sisters, one that I cherish with all of my heart, who has also the name Golden in her name, Miss Honey C. Golden.
Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, guys. Yeah,
Lovely to have
it's
you.
gonna be fun.
I know that 99% of the audience will know everything about you, honey. But just in case they don't, could you please give us a few minutes and explain who you are, where you come from, things you do, and some of your abilities, perhaps? Because I think we'd all love to hear that.
Okay, sure. So I grew up with a quite mystical father, and he talked about ascension when I was a kid, and it went on and on and on. And I remember when I walked in to my body when I was a little child, maybe 18 months. And from then on, I've been pretty aware. Now, in your early 20s, when you first get married and you're trying to fit in with everybody, you tend to kind of lose yourself a little bit. So I did during that time. But everything has been very intuitive for most of my life. And probably 9, 10 years ago at this point, I started talking to my higher self directly. And that started out just with colors coming in. And the first color that I received was pink. And then I did what was called the death of ego and cleared a lot of trauma. And once I did that, all this information started coming in. So my information comes from my higher self, and I try to stay as clear as I can and keep my trauma cleared out as soon as it comes up if I have any. But that's basically where I get all my information is directly from my soul.
Superb. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. It's fascinating.
Uh-huh.
And again, I think there's a real importance there is that pure connection to the higher self and keeping it pure and clean is the most important thing because as I've experienced and sure we all know that when we start really connecting to ourselves, there's an awful lot of things out there that want to piggyback in onto our lovely, fresh, beautiful, shining energy, isn't there?
Hmm.
You know,
Absolutely. Yep. And that's one of the reasons I think when 2020 came around, if somebody was channeling, I feel like channeling was a little bit sketchy at that point because there was a lot of shadows floating around. And it's getting easier and easier to do that now. But I never offer my body up to anybody. No entities are allowed to, you know, be around. Yeah.
very good advice. Very good advice.
Mhm.
Now, today's show, because we've got a special guest, Honey, and I obviously watch Honey, and I know and following Honey on a Telegram channel particularly, which is a very good. I'm only on Telegram. I think I'm not sure if I know you're on Instagram as well. I think as well, Honey, but
Mhm.
I know that you post an awful lot of really interesting stuff on Telegram, and you do an awful lot of Tartarian bits and pieces and old world
Yeah.
stuff, which I find fascinating. And so today, because Honey, I mean, it's one of my favorite subjects, and it was clearly is for Honey. I thought it was a really good, and obviously Richard agreed. Like he's sitting there grinning like a beautiful Cheshire cat. That we
Ow.
should perhaps have a little chat about Tartaria and some of the things that we see and maybe some seeings that we get out of it. Are you guys happy with that?
Mhm. Yeah. Love it.
Superb. Um, so my journey on Tartaria was in the very early stages. This is probably about 8 years ago now. Um, Martin Ladiki, um, um, John Levy, Richard Lopez, or Richard Lowe, as he then changed into. and a few others were sort of like developing the foundation of Tartaria. And we were actually, there's another guy called Flat Earth British Sub at the time, and they would put up 8 hours worth of old photos, you know, and we'd literally be watching the screen for 8 hours, looking at all these photos, thinking there's something wrong with the photos, but also they're trying to tell us something in the photos, but we can't. And we were sitting there trying to work out what we were actually observing. You know, what were we looking at? Why were all these photographs full of empty streets? You know, that was another big one. Empty streets. What's going on? And why are the roads all mud? And what is really going on? And from the inception of that, it then started to snowball out and out and out. And obviously, many other people have picked up the baton and run with it, you know. But I do know that everybody, I think, bar John Levy, had their YouTube channels taken down multiple times, and some were kicked off YouTube permanently because of some of the things that were being raised at the time. So that's my kind of experience with Tartaria. What about you, honey? What got you into this amazing subject?
I think it was John Levy actually. So, and then I bought a book, and I can't remember the name of it, but I've put it under videos quite often, and I'll send you guys a link. And that link is really brilliant. And then I started tuning into it and just asking my higher self. And I got this kind of like outline of history for Tartaria. And I don't think that the Dark Ages were dark at all. So we had a very bright time, a very technological time, and a very kind of steampunk time. You know, so there was a lot of working with physical items going on, and people were kind of living in, they were 3D, but they were kind of elevated 3D
Yeah.
at that point. And a lot of them were much bigger than we are because they had been hybridized with the Anunnaki. So they were human slash Anunnaki beings. We're starting to see more extremely tall people again, I've noticed. So that was going on. There was a big battle that happened in the 1776, and it was won by the good guys. But shortly after that, we had a liquefaction event, which, you know, some people call the mud flood, but I get that it was basically liquefying the earth and things started to sink. And a lot of people passed at that time. And then in 1850, they repopulated. So they started repopulating, and most of those people were created underground and brought up. And then after that, they disclosed a lot of that information with the World's Fairs. So, and then also there were a lot of cities that burned down in the United States. So if you want to get a more accurate like picture of Tartaria, then you go visit Gary because there's more over there in Europe.
Yeah.
And it's like those are the things that have been hidden for so long. So Tartaria will come back in a kind of a different way.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. It's brilliant. I know Richard and I have done a few shows, and we've kind of briefly gone on to Tartaria, haven't we, Richard? And some of the events and some of the resets that have plagued this realm in cyclical sort of
Mhm.
time wise, you know. So yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said there. I mean, you put it better than I could. But
I talk about it a lot.
yeah. I don't do it so much on videos because there's so much good content out there that I don't really want to be repeating what somebody else has already done a really good video about, you know?
Mhm.
Um, I'll sometimes put stuff out if I think it's new and no one's ever come across it, you know.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think is really fascinating, this came from a recent-ish, about 5, 6 months ago, I guess, visit down to the south coast of England in Dorset, and we were looking at some sort of like areas of like old England, you know, because as you say, honey, America seems to have a more modern history and less old history, but actually we all know that's complete rubbish, and that America has
Mhm.
been had people in it for just as long as Europe has. You know,
Yeah.
it's just those who wrote the history books decided to wipe most of that out or forget about it. But we were walking around some of these areas in Dorset, and beautiful. Which one's that, Richard?
That's my baby, Mowgli.
Mowgli.
They're all my babies, but this one I rescued her when she was the size of a mouse. So she's my child. She's a great kisser.
Superb.
She
So
put their paw on his
Sorry.
chin.
I know.
Bye.
So we're on holiday in this area where they fundamentally have no flint, and we're
Mm,
seeing churches built of flint and the old stuff built of flint, but nothing new is built of flint. And obviously, we've got all the red bricked properties around, and for those who are unsure about the old ancient red bricks, they have a very high iron content because they were fundamentally used as batteries back in the day with the energy.
mhm,
And what we the Wizard of Oz, my partner Mel, she said it's flint. There's something in the flint, and I'm standing there looking at this tower, and I'm thinking, yeah, she's right, but I don't know what. And so I went home and put in what's flint made out of. It's made of silica.
mhm,
Oh,
Now, firstly, they don't know how flint's made. So flint is this magical rock that they don't know how it's made. So geologists don't know how it's made, and I'm thinking, well, that's an interesting one straight away. And it's got high silica content, and it can take an electrical high electrical current through a flint, and it won't
mhm,
explode. It won't, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, well, that's interesting. And then I suddenly think, well, silica. Hang on a minute. What do they make chips out of today? As in computer chips, they're silica. And what's one of the biggest ingredients in solar panels? They're made of silica. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. And then we've got semiconductors and all the bits and pieces, and they use silica and metal strips to control currents and frequencies. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, currents and frequencies. Now, we know that Tartaria was all about frequencies, energy, free energy,
mhm.
taking energy from the ether. And so when we look at churches, we're actually looking at not only power generators, but every single church is built, the tower is slightly different with different amounts of red brick in it or different layers breaking up the silica to create semiconductors or capacitors or resistors so that they could get the right frequency from the area, from the local ley lines, and the longitude and latitude of where that particular area was. So, wow, what a discovery that was. And again, it's one of those like, oh my God. And so then you start looking at every single church, particularly the towers, completely different, that's made out of flint.
Yeah. And the body's full of silica too, because you need it to create collagen in the body. So it's part of your connective tissue. And that's really important. And I think that the frequencies would speak to the silica within the body.
I hadn't put that together. That's brilliant. Now, the other
Yeah.
thing we have, particularly, I mean, I live near a city called Norwich in Norfolk in United Kingdom. Okay. So Norwich is my nearest big city. And it has an old wall that used to go all the way round it, bar the river. Now,
Mm,
the river would have then been prime water. It wouldn't have been polluted. We know that. but the entire city is surrounded by a great big 4 foot wide, thick, X amount high tall wall, which is completely flint. And there's cathedrals in there, churches everywhere, all built slightly differently, different heights, everything else like that. And what it was is the city of Norwich, the old inner city, was the perfect balance ecosystem for the human body.
Hmm. And powered completely with free everything,
Yes.
from the ether to the water, all that stuff.
Yeah,
And castles had moats around them. I think the moat was a totally different purpose than what they say.
I agree. Because
Yeah,
we're talking almost breatharianism at this point, aren't we? And
pretty
this is
close.
what I
Fruitarians,
yeah,
mainly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I think they would have eaten some mushrooms, local fruits that were available at the time, and that would have been about it. And maybe the herb gardens. I mean, we see a lot of
Hmm.
herb gardens in stately homes, and I think the herb gardens were there because they were growing certain herbs for the mineral or vitamin properties that were required that they weren't quite getting enough of, and they would have consumed them during the winter months to stay well.
Yeah. Yeah. And their DNA was more intact too. So remembering that is important, which our DNA is intact now, but the mind still doesn't know how to completely operate it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, the frequency coming from the churches, cathedrals, and the walls and all the flint would have enabled that balance with the DNA and the mind and
Mhm.
how can I put this? When you're not concerned about having to work to live and you have time to meditate and become one with the world around you, that changes the game completely.
Mhm. And time wasn't a big deal either because they lived longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they certainly did. And there was a mixture of, as you say, giants and our size people. And I'm not going to say we're normal size people. I'm going to say giants and our size because I believe it's actually the giants which were the normal ones.
Yeah, depending on the size.
Yeah,
So I do think that normally we would be more about 8 feet.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what
I
I
was
get
12.
humanity should be. You want to be 12 feet?
But what's interesting is we have two different kinds of buildings in the United Kingdom. And I'm sure you have that around the world, particularly. And one's called the Georgian style, where we have double-heighted rooms,
Hmm.
and the rest are standard sized. And obviously, we have some of the old cathedrals and some of the really old castles, which are massively tall.
Yeah.
And so we have kind of three different sized beings, peoples at that time. The castles would have been the tallest and the biggest, and probably those in charge
Hmm.
as such. We then have the Georgian sized people who were 8, 9, 12, 10 foot, however tall they would have been, which is why we have double heighted rooms. And then we would have had the people who are around our size, if not a little bit smaller. And I have actually seen images of, and it's been very tricky to put enough. Maybe you could look into this for me, honey, and you, Richard, because this is fascinating, right? I have seen really old images of giants, people our size, but people very, very small. And I'm not talking about deformed people. I'm talking about people that are three
Yes.
foot tall, perfectly anatomically correct within the Tartarian period. But it's very difficult to get any information on that. So perhaps, what do you two see on that one?
Well, you're talking almost like the old Egyptian sculptures where you have like little people and they are bringing food to the giants. This is what you're referring to,
Yeah,
right?
but they would have been smaller than that. So the little people would be us. The
Like
giants,
Smurfs.
yes, yeah, yeah, kind of, yeah,
Oh,
Like
okay.
3 feet, 4 feet tall, you're
Okay.
saying?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I get that they used a lot of their DNA to basically shrink from people call them the Nephilim, but it's actually the Anunnaki.
Yes, I
So
agree.
to shrink from that, and they used a lot of that DNA. And they found an island not too long ago where there were little people, and it was mainly skeletons, but some people they're still alive today. And there are actually some people that have been born and are look completely normal, but they're just really small.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
They're almost like they're part of the fairy-like group.
Yes, they
that,
are.
that's exactly what I was going
Yeah.
to say. It's almost like pixies or leprechauns of
Mhm.
the thing. So Richard, what are you seeing?
I get a split in time, and I do see like the island rising out, but I see a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Like not key lines. I'm talking about
Ley
aspects,
lines?
not as pardon me?
Ley lines?
Yes. And I see a lot of well, there's been a lot of magic. This is spinning round and round in all dimensions. But what you're talking about right now, I do see the mountain. I see a split coming up, and then it's revealed. So something is birthing right now. It feels like the tooth of a megalodon great shark piercing through the mountain, and now the frequency, it's almost like hissing coming out.
Mm. So let's ask this question.
Yes.
Does this mean that, so in Ireland, because I was just in Ireland, the fairies are about that size. So does this mean that we are now going to start to see them with our eyes?
Yes. And okay, it depends, because what I'm seeing now, Honey Bunny, is that we are actually, and this is something that I like I love to use, like we're in a yo-yo ping pong. It's like roller coaster, up, down right now. But yes, they are already all around us, and the fairies don't necessarily look the elementals like what everyone thinks they look like. I do see a lot. They look like foxes. They look like felines. Some are really, really beautiful. Oh, thank you. Some are showing themselves as pharaoh because I resonate to pharaoh. So I want small pharaohs, big pharaohs, giant 50-foot pharaohs. I see Gaia as pharaoh. All right. So what else do I see here? Something in Alaska, and I know Hani. With we had a discussion earlier on, and you feel something with Tartaria, maybe linked to Antarctica. You, because I'm seeing
Yeah.
Antarctica here, and I'm seeing the melting, moving away, and something coming through. Is it like beyond the ice walls, Honey?
Yeah, there's a lot of energy right now too coming from the ice wall, and it's kind of disturbed the normal, what do you call that? The way that the sea moves,
Currents.
here, the
Yeah,
currents.
yeah,
Yeah. So it's disturbed that, but also there's all this energy coming. And I think there's something rising there and there's
Rising.
something melting as well.
yeah.
And what's
So
rising is not a horror movie, guys. Okay, for me,
good.
this is not, and we're gonna die. No, 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 no. What is unleashed right now is our awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this, what that we call, like, Tartaria, the beautiful history that was erased about free technology, is absolutely returned, because time and space, what is minutes and seconds, I already see it calculated and already happened, and it's got a lot to do with three-eye atlas, divine masculine healed, honey, right,
Yeah. Healed.
counterpart.
Yeah.
And then what do we have with that? We got swan, the
Yes.
graceful swimming. And what does swan do? Okay, swan is water. Atlas, electricity. What does water and electricity do? they become a transmitter, and all of us here on planet ship Gaia, the sleeping, like organic simulation, we're starting to wake up. We're coming online right here. We are all one, and the more that we put our frequencies on it, my babies, we, like the 144,000, all this, there's so much talk, like the rapture and all this. We're in it right now, but it's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
This is
No.
ascension. So what I can tell you, and what I see here, let me have a few more spins. Am I allowed?
Of
May I?
course.
May? Okay, because let's play spin the ball, not the bottle. Behave yourselves. All right, land. All right, so, ooh, this is a hell of a story, guys, because I see a lot of shattered, fractured. I'm going back in space, so I'm seeing the heart chakra. That's Lemuria. Ah, there it is, Atlantis. Okay, so I see Atlantis almost biting into it looks like a bazooka, but I know that it is something electronic, almost like a chip you put into a computer. So what I see here is that there was once, because Lemuria came out first with the heart chakra. So that's divine feminine energy, that is creation. So let's go back. Now I see a rose, a flower blooming. It looks like a orchid. No. The flower of life. No. It's one of those things in the islands, the big flowers that looks like a woman part. What is that flower, please?
I don't know.
Darn it. It's a big, beautiful flower, and we
Like a
often
lotus?
Yes, that's,
Lotus.
thank you. So that's what's opening right now. So also this lotus, okay, I always saw this ring as square, but now I'm seeing it as a pyramid shape. There's been a lot of talk about Melania Trump in regards to the Romanov. I've spoken solo about, she goes way beyond that. The Romanov thing, there's something there, but that is almost like, let's keep her name there. She goes to Tartaria. And that's what is green. What is green also? The heart chakra.
Mm-hmm.
So what has fallen with Lemuria and Atlantis, and now the return of Three-Eye Atlas and Swan. Again, water movement, electricity, build together electricity. They send out, we receive. This is what's happening because I can see this lotus, and now I'm seeing as a ring. I'm not saying that President Putin's actually going to put a ring on her finger. It's a symbolism right here. Okay, and it's already on her finger, energetically speaking. She's got ties there, and this is showing me, let me spin. Let's play spin, not the bottle, but the ball. Okay, yes, here we are. Atlantis, definitely okay, because this is related to honey, Antarctica, because I can see everything freezing over, and I can see different segments like freezing and put into boxes, boxes you can't get out of. It's like um, swallowing. But what had happened here is that with Atlantis and that energy that would have gone to Tartaria. It started with heart frequency mirrored into like crystals and all this, so therefore it became technology. But the return of Three-Eye Atlas, oh, he's jogging. You know what he looks like? I don't know if you guys have that commercial where you live, the Michelin Man. So he's like full of tires and he's running. That's how it's going. It's so cute. Um, Coming back, and then that's what it is. It's like now we're going to build from the heart, the emerald frequency, the heart frequency. So we're no longer in the upside down, the corrupt. It's going to be very different. And this is how we're going to build free electricity now. Instead of having wires and cables, we're going to start from the heart chakra and connect and then build as creators.
Hmm.
How
Yeah.
does that sound, guys?
Really
I'll
good.
stop the ball. Sorry, I lose myself.
No, that was great. A lot of stuff popped in while you were talking too, which was great.
Yeah.
So
So,
where did you get, my love?
so you know the way that Melania looks. So she's got a little bit olive skin, a little darker hair, and there's a group of people which I can't remember their name, but they're like in Finland and near where it's cold. And also when you look at, Melania, she's supposed to be.
Iceland?
No, they're the
No.
No,
Inuits,
and
aren't
even
they?
think about, yeah, like the Inuit, but not necessarily the Inuit. There's a special name for them, and
Yeah.
they have mostly O negative blood. So she's like part of that whole group. And if you look at the Eskimos, like, why don't they have blonde hair and white skin? Because they don't get sun a lot of the time. So they should have like an easy way to receive more vitamin D, but they don't. So those things were popping in that, they're basically going to be returned to the kind of environment that they're used to. And she's the key, like to opening up the conversation about Tartaria. So Melania is a huge key to that.
Because
I agree. Sorry,
sorry,
Gary,
I
did
was
you
I
want
was
to
going to
go?
say with the Tartaria stuff, Melania, and what Honey said resonated fully. Obviously, um, when we go to Antarctica, there are maps of Antarctica pre-ice that
Mhm.
date back around 500 years ago. Okay, they're not any older than that, and they show Tartaria completely free of ice. I mean,
Yeah.
not Tartaria, sorry, Antarctica completely free of ice. Valleys, the full works. And a few years ago, the Americans did a survey over this part of Antarctica, and they found that the maps were 100% correct.
Mhm.
How did they draw a map of a valley and a watercourse and a sheer-sided mountain and all of that 600 years ago when it was full of ice? How could they have done that if they
Mm.
didn't either have the technology we have now, which they're not meant to have according to history, or Antarctica was actually ice free at that point completely?
It
And
was.
yeah, and it was because we had a mini vapor canopy at the time, and when we go under
Mhm.
a vapor canopy, everything grows bigger, which is why we had a return of the giants or return of taller people for a while, and Antarctica would have lost its ice within years, no more than that. And then we would have been able to travel to Antarctica, and we would have been able to travel Keely to the lands beyond Antarctica. And the lands beyond, I feel, have still got the Tartarian technology working
Mm.
and running. And what they've done, because they haven't been reset like we have and played with, they have developed this to a higher and higher level beyond which we can really understand.
Yeah. Do you want me to talk about that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So think of Antarctica as where the ice wall was, right? So the further you go beyond that, the more you get into different lands. And some of those were not so nice people that were kind of controlling where
Mm.
we live and the map that we know. And I actually think that our map is very wrong, and we're a little closer to Pangea style than what we think. So the map is all out of whack. But when you think about the ice wall and going beyond the ice wall and deeper into Antarctica, You've got people that are beautiful, that are kind of hidden a little bit, and maybe they have their like Agartha type people.
Mm.
So going under, thinking about inner earth. And then we also have the beings that kind of took over and were harvesting where we live. And I won't say what they were doing because this is YouTube, but
Mm.
really bad behavior going on out there. And all of the old buildings were actually mixed with a lot of new buildings. So buildings that were made with what I would call liquid glass and lots of gold.
And
And
bells.
yeah, bells and free electricity and a lot of much easier living, but also a lot of fourth density ETs that really had kind of taken over, and they really took over within the ice wall. So I always get that the dome went over the top of all of it, but the earth was is much larger. So the dome has basically a section like this, and this would be the ice wall, and this would be the outside of the dome. So within this section was a lot of land and a lot of different things going on. And that was conquered a while ago. So before things started to happen here.
Yeah.
Like you used to explain, honey, when before you became my sister, you were explaining like the dome was like this little ball on top of a big
Mhm.
ball, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
See, I see it exactly the way you described it is absolutely correct. But I see it more of an energy and a frequency, as in toroidal fields of consciousness that interact with each other. But we do definitely
Mhm.
have, hence I always have the Flammarion behind me, that dome
Yes.
above us is a reminder that we are truly locked into something. And that dome we can't get out of at the moment, but we will do very, very soon because,
I think it's gone already.
well,
It is.
it,
But we
it
have firmament. We have the firmament
Yes.
still.
yeah, and the firmament and the dome are the same thing, which are all part of the toroidal field of consciousness, because we all have a toroidal field, don't we? Each individual one
The
of us.
heart is the biggest one, and that's what the green
Yeah.
emerald is right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But blade of grass has a toroidal field.
Oh, absolutely.
A tree does.
And it smiles. So
Yeah,
a blade of
Yeah.
grass looks like a smile.
yeah,
Oh my God, it is the cutest thing to see
So
that.
cute. Yeah.
Could
yeah,
you
yeah.
want to explain it, honey, in case some of the family members don't know what we're talking about? Because you're talking
Well,
about that
yeah, if you x-ray, with a
X-ray.
certain kind of camera, a blade of grass, it looks like a smiling being with little eyes and a big smile. Yeah. It's
They look
amazing.
like, you know what? You know, when you're having those big companies that have a cell flash and they have those wobbly, smiling things.
Oh,
That's what they
yeah.
look like.
Yeah,
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 totally.
Yeah, yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
yeah.
So, what my higher self showed me, just so I want to clarify, and then you guys can tune into it.
Yes.
If this was Earth, and Earth is not this shape, I don't
Nope.
get that she's this shape. She's more flat on the top and the bottom, just like an apple. Okay. But there would have been a small dome underneath a firmament. So the firmament is more like a jelly-like
Mm-hmm.
substance. So it's like plasma. And every single thing that we have in this entire universe is made of plasma. So plasma is the body of source. Your
Yes.
body's made of plasma, everything's made of plasma. But that little dome is gone now, and we're just starting to see the like why and what all the action is happening. Like weather hasn't been able to be controlled in the same way. Things are shifting a lot, and the earth is much bigger. So eventually we'll go beyond. And I think we actually may have more oxygen than we used to, too. So that seems to be helping the brain
And
work
we
a
will
little better.
grow.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
will. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive right now because we're in like big discovery mode.
Yeah. Yeah. We are.
Yes. And you
And I,
feel a big connection to the giants, you want, honey, bunny?
Well, I just feel like we they were taken out of here so that we would all think we were small.
Yeah.
And a lot of them lived beyond the ice wall, but I think a lot of them were the elites of that time. And basically, they made an agreement and didn't realize that their agreement would actually get rid of a lot of them.
Mm. Trickery.
So, yeah, so they made that agreement with the more negative ETs. And they're gone now. Those negative ETs have been eradicated, but it really got rid of a lot of humanity, basically, the bigger ones. Mhm.
I did a thing very recently, um, and I'm talking about six-fingered beings.
Mhm.
And there's Gilgamesh. There's a very famous carving of Gilgamesh
Mhm.
on a wall. Yeah, and Gilgamesh is the one who holds the lion, isn't he, under his arm, you know? And when you actually look at that carving, you can see where they've carved the pinky off on one hand, and they've joined the pinky to the index finger in the other hand, and you can see where he had 12 toes. And they had 12 fingers and 12 toes back then. And that's because we were under a 12 Cathara grid, which is the creational energy of Gaia.
Mhm.
So those beings were closer to the original creational energy than we are today with 10 digits. And
Yeah.
that's part of the takedown. And there was a period in time, I can't tell you what years it was, but there was a period in time where giants and people would be together.
Mhm.
And they actually had laws that giants couldn't intimidate the people in trade because of their size. Because you imagine a big, you're going to give me a better deal than that. Okay. So that was made illegal. But after that period, the giants were hunted to extinction by a group of beings. And I wonder if the group of people that hunted those giants to extinction almost, were what you're talking about, honey, when they did the deal with the darker energy that then took over again to another level of what we're talking about.
Mhm. More like the tall grays and um the ones that look like a dragon but they're mean with the wings.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
drooling
Yeah.
ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and the Silk Road popped in when you were talking about that whole trading thing. So that was actually going on the Silk Road.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't as lawless as they say.
No, no, not at all.
Mhm.
In actual fact, this is really interesting. That it was discovered fairly recently, or confirmed fairly recently. Is the Great Wall of China is actually the Silk Road itself. And when you go to the touristy bits, they've actually taken the embattlements from one side and moved them to the other side because of the story about it was to
Yeah.
protect from marauders. But actually, both sides had the same embattlements because it
Mhm.
was the Silk Road and it was the main trading road through Asia. And it was actually designed by the Romans
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
was
Yes.
built
Yeah.
by the Chinese. So it is the Great Wall of China as such. It's actually the Great Silk Road of China, but it's Roman designed. And we know it's
Mhm.
Roman designed because the width is 16 feet wide, which is an imperial Roman number, and every Roman mile is a tower.
Mhm.
Exactly every Roman mile is a tower. And so what you would have got is you would have got trade going through, and it would have been the modern day Amazon, where
Mhm.
there would have been constantly different things being traded. And some of the towers are guard towers, some of the towers would have been hotels, and some of the towers would have been eateries or drop off or storage points. And it's fascinating when you start to really look at how sophisticated the trade system was back in that day.
Hmm. Well, and they had the internet back then in a different way, like a different version of the internet. I feel like it was a little more clean than the one we have now. And also, they had faster travel. So I always get that as we start to travel with some of the trains that exist and in some of the other ways that exist, like flying cars and, all the things that have been kind of hidden, we will probably go shopping in another country and come home and, your
With a
shopping for the week
tan.
is done. Yeah,
No, no, I
I
agree.
would, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in Tartaria times, they had sky trains, didn't they?
yeah,
You know,
yeah. And they
and
still do beyond.
yes, I think they do.
Yeah.
But also one of the interesting things, if we go back to the beginning when I was talking about all the photographs we look at, all the old photographs, the sky's whited out.
Hmm.
They've got vanilla
Because of the
skies.
blimps.
Yeah, because they want to hide the blimps. Yeah, they want to hide.
Yeah.
They want to hide the balloons and the sky travel of all the zephyrs and all the bits and pieces that was going up. So when we see these sort of sci-fi things from the 1960s of, oh, in 2025 they're going to be living like this, and they show the skies full of flying bits and
Like the
pieces.
Jetsons.
Yeah, that kind
Yeah.
of, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how Tartaria was. And fundamentally, you could get onto a hot air craft ship balloon and travel thousands of miles. You could go to America, and it would have been slightly slower than we imagined. But this is medieval times we're talking about. When they built everything with horses and carts. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
You know, and when you kind of understand the technology they had, as you said, it's steampunk. But oh my God, was
Mm.
that more advanced than today because it was clean and pure energy.
It
Hmm.
wasn't Mad Max.
No,
No. Uh-uh.
Nope.
Well, and they had those electric cars. I mean, just one, like that's such an easy way to see how more advanced they were because they had an electric car that could go further
1,200
on
miles.
one charge. Yeah.
One charge, 1,200 miles. Yeah, yeah. And
Hmm.
actually, in New York, they had charging stations everywhere, and you could drive your car into a charging station. They would flip the back of the car out, crane the old battery out that was flat. After 600 miles is the recommended mileage. Put one straight back in, connect it up. You would pay them a small amount because the battery was like a communal battery. You pay them for the charging costs and the change costs, and you drive out of there for another 600 miles at least. You
Just
know,
so much better than what they're doing now. Like they sit there for 45 minutes and charge their car. I'm like, how does your like day go if you have to do that every day?
yeah, yeah. And they've got what, 250 mile radius, and when it's
Hmm.
winter and cold, it goes down to about 100 miles, It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's totally crazy.
And they're also not good for the body, are they? I mean, the EMFs and all the pollution, and fundamentally, we're talking about an old school battery system that has been used since Egyptian times. Because we know, again, it's in the hieroglyphs. We know the Egyptians had batteries, and we know they had light bulbs.
And
Mhm.
cell phones, you side or
Yeah.
iPads.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and the handbag.
The
The
knee.
Yes.
handbag
Yes.
that has popped in recently what the handbag actually
Yeah,
was. And I
yeah.
was like, oh my God.
Would you
Well,
like to
Because,
share?
can
yeah,
I say
so
what I think it
go
is?
ahead.
Because for my research, they were actually called Me's, the handbags. And it's what's inside the handbag that's the important bit. And they were
Mhm.
really tablets, which is why we have tablets today. And with the watch on the wrist connected to the Me or the tablet inside, they could alter
Mm.
and change and do anything they fundamentally wanted to. And I can't even comprehend what they were doing with them because it's so beyond my understanding of the world. What do
I
you
can't
get?
wait to say. Okay, so in the past, and there was a movie about it, Stargate, right? So they basically held the codes to go to different places through the Stargates. So that's what those bags were.
Yeah.
You coded your bag and you went through and you ended up where you wanted to be. And I think there's a lot of statues that have like a guy with like a rod through his hand, and they're always talking about how this was some sort of wand. I think they got rid of the handbag.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and it's very noticeable that, I mean, we're fundamentally talking about the 200 Watchers, or the fallen angels, or the Anunnaki, or the Nephilim, or whatever name you really want to give them. It's really
Right.
fundamentally the same people, isn't it? The same
Hmm.
technology is what they all had, and they would have had this ability. And I think they called them the 200 Watchers because they could see and do anything they wanted to, because they could literally go and do anything they wanted to, because within them they had a teleportation system on them all the time.
Yeah.
okay.
And I think that's why we're so obsessed with handbags now, and why the deletes, and the high fashion people make them cost so much money,
A
you know?
fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like those Louis Vuitton high heels with the red under.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We understand what the symbolization
Yes,
means,
we do.
but a lot of people are just buying it for a fashion item, not
Yeah,
understanding what they're actually purchasing.
that's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
But it's very interesting
Yeah.
that tablets have stayed with us throughout time, because when at some point we actually did get this collapse or a reset, and by reset what I mean is a societal collapse where the technology was pulled away from us by the dumb elites, because they never
Hmm.
lost it, and they then wanted to put us back to an age where, or to a technology where we could then be fed upon financially and energetically till we got to a certain stage again before they then played the game again on us. And
Mm.
Hmm.
and I lost my train of thought then.
We
um
all do this here. All three of us. Everyone, yes.
where
Oh
was I
yeah.
going with this? Oh, it's gone. It's gone. I do apologize. The tablets, yeah, the tablets. And
Yeah.
so what people would have done is they would have had a knowing or a knowledge of a tablet that was in the me handbag, because the handbag's actually called a me, and it is actually written about being called a me, an me.
Hmm.
Yeah. Is when these cataclysms happened, everybody wrote them on information on clay tablets, because they were replicating the screen of what they would
Hmm.
have seen, and the only way they could do it was to create a tablet of clay, and they called it a tablet. Why isn't it called a slab? Why isn't it called something else? A page, or a book, or because again, it's that remembrance of handbags and tablets. It's in the psyche, isn't it? Because it's always been there.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I was watching Star Trek, and I think it's their new season, and it's the one where they're exploring new worlds. And they were in a place where they were going to see this ancient technology that was basically, I don't know if you've seen it, but they were going to be
I
eternal.
haven't.
So basically, it was the fountain of youth technology. And they went in there and it was crazy. And the technology was way beyond what they could handle. And they had tablets. Those were the keys, these little weird tablets. And I highly recommend Star Trek right now and the newer seasons of Star Trek. And there's going to be another one that comes out. They're just filled with disclosure right now. And if you think about Space Force, what is that doing? That's bringing in the Star
Right.
Trek age. So we're at a really cool time right now.
Yeah. We
So
are.
would you find, honey, like what you're saying about the new like series, Star Trek? What is it called again? This one,
It's called, I think it's New Worlds,
New
Discovering New
World.
Worlds or something.
Okay,
And it's got the guy in it. The captain has the big hair. Like
I've
he's
never
got
seen it.
gray hair,
Okay,
but his
Yeah.
hair is like this big swoop that goes back
okay.
over his head. And it's like got to take a lot of hairspray for that hair. So if you're confused about which one it is, it's that one.
It's the hairspray one,
Yeah, Brave New Worlds
like a
or something like
rockabilly
that.
hairdo, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a
Okay.
rockabilly hairdo. Yeah.
So, what I'd like to know, honey, is like, would this be like the first? Because Star Trek has been going on forever.
Hmm.
So we're resonating to this one with disclosure. I know that season one, the very first season, was pure disclosure.
Yes.
Season two, but season one, oh my God, guys, you have to go see. It's a two-part called what is it called again? The I'm gonna try to the
With Captain
hologram.
Kirk, the first one with Captain Kirk.
Yes, the first season, but there was a two-part called the simulation. No, it was a French word.
Oh,
I told you about this in the past,
yeah, I
remember?
watched it. That one was
So
really, really good. And
that's
they
the
actually had a whole like matrix in this other one. And they showed how the matrix was made. And it was a simulation and they played a game in there.
yes.
So, I mean, if you want to watch a show that's really not that scary and has a bunch of disclosure in it, I would go explore Star Trek
Yeah.
because it's basically where we're headed in a lot of ways, and the knowledge is in there.
Yeah. I have to say I've used Star Trek a lot as I mean I don't have a television, so I haven't watched any of the new stuff for a long. I don't watch anything really. Um, but I know in Star Trek they had something called a holodeck, and
Hmm.
within this holodeck you could go into a room, ask the computer to create any situation you wanted, and you could then be part of that. So whether it's climbing up a rock face, sitting there fishing in a lake, or whatever, and it would produce that exactly.
Hmm.
And we're sitting in a holodeck now,
We are.
fundamentally, you
We
know.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in an organic holodeck, basically. And
Yes.
the one holding space for us is Mother Earth, the soul of Mother Earth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it called the
It was
cage?
called, sorry, guys, Star Trek. What I was talking about, like the two-part, is called the Menagerie.
The Mirage, yeah, the cage. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's, I had to find it and I just did. La Ménagerie,
yeah,
part one, part two. Watch that. Open your hearts. Just watch. I mean, it's old. Like what they're wearing, it's like, it's the 60s, right? But just like look at it from a non-judging and just sit with it. That was like the most real of disclosure, what our simulation actually
Yeah.
is.
And when I sit down to watch something, I sit down with a piece of paper or a notebook a lot of
And just,
times. And I write down all the disclosure, and that way it doesn't go into my subconscious either as like a reality. It's like a
yes.
learning experience. Like, what can I pull out of this?
yeah,
You are here to observe.
yeah.
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 Yeah, observe but do not absorb. See, I'm dyslexic, so I can observe it without absorbing it. And because I'm dyslexic, I never get to write anything down. I'm terrible on pants. But I've got this ability to remember the stuff that I need to be able to pull it
Hmm.
back out again and look at stuff. So, but Honey brings out a great point. Pen and pad's an amazing thing. It's a real gift.
Hmm.
I record
So fun.
everything because I don't like reading.
No, I don't like reading either, but when I write, it helps
Yeah,
if I write it down and
Yes.
I'll
yeah,
remember it more and do whatever works for you. Like some people are just strictly visual learners, My husband is very visual, and if he has to pay attention to somebody telling him what to do step by step, he just floats away. Like,
Yeah.
forget, he doesn't know what they said, and but if he's shown on a video, he gets it. So
That's
we
how I
really need,
am.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people are that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because John, what happens is when you do that, he's dreaming of fast cars.
Right. Dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Superb, superb.
Yeah.
Uh, Now, one other thing that I think is a really important thing that kind of backs up what we've been talking about, particularly about Tartaria, is the lack of toilets and the lack of plumbing and the lack of sewage facilities, and certainly the lack of pipe work or taps even inside these buildings. Now, I think this is one of the biggest things that backs up what we say to those who don't believe what we are talking about, is that no old stately homes in the United Kingdom had flushing toilets or any kind of toilet before the mid 1800s or early 1800s, when we get that population growth again.
Hmm.
All the old houses that were built, and a lot of the houses, the dates that they were built are completely rubbish. The date that they're given as being built is actually the date that they were repurposed back into people living in them again.
Hmm.
You know, so what are your thoughts on this, honey? Have you observed the same thing, that there was no toilets because of the breatharianism and the more balanced lifestyle? Is that something that you've put together?
Well, when I asked about that, because somebody was super fascinated about it and asked me, I got that they had two things going on. If they did eat, it was usually fruit,
Yeah.
and they really didn't eat. We eat too much, honestly. We eat too often. It's not great for the body, but they also had some sort of incineration like machine. So if they were going to go to the bathroom, which was rare, then it would be incinerated
Oh,
and used for, like something else. So it would be used for, what do they call that? When you just,
Fertilizer
yeah,
or whatever, ash?
fertilizer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it didn't happen a whole lot. And it was almost like, I mean, we joke about it a lot. Bathroom stuff, it's a big joke. Anybody that farts or anybody that goes to I went and did this. Oh, were you doing what in the bathroom or whatever? It's always a big joke, but I think it was almost like celebrated and joked about in the Tartarian times as, oh, you did that. Oh, wow. Like the whole family would, like, yeah, it
Yeah.
was a ridiculous event and it didn't happen a whole lot.
No, no, no. I mean, we have these amazing stories about in England how everybody was going to the toilet and they'd get the bucket and they'd throw it out onto the street and all this sort of stuff. And that's why the streets raised up, and all the horses pooing in the streets meant that's why we have windows below ground now, because everyone was so filthy. And you look at that and you just think, seriously?
No.
Really? You know, come on, think about it, you know? So
Mhm.
I'm glad you got a very, very similar thing. Um, I think they actually used to have a dedicated person who'd go round with a bucket um, to collect the stool,
The
basically.
ashes.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
oh, what a
but
job.
yeah, but you think about
yeah.
it, it would have been quite a rare event. So he might
Right.
have had a lot of days off in a year where he didn't do anything because,
Mhm.
or she, because it was, as you say, I think they probably had one bowel movement a month if they were lucky sometimes.
Like a snake.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
potentially.
fruit is like pure energy. Like when you eat fruit and it digests really fast, and if that's all you're eating and you may have like an apple every other day or something, what waste do you actually have to get rid of?
Yeah, not a lot.
Mm-mm.
And this is all part of the balance from the churches, and as we go back to the flint and everything else, and how it all works in balance and harmony. So I mean, I've got evidence of one of the churches, and it's in Kent, which is south below London,
Mhm.
and that church was built in 675 AD, and it's a complete flint built church with tower.
Hmm.
So if we're looking at the our date system and looking at that, if we have a church from 675 AD that was built of flint with this kind of technology, it goes a lot further back. It must do.
Oh, yeah, it does. And also, a lot of those places were not meant, they were like a power station or a place to go and heal or whatever and to go absorb frequency. So you weren't going to the bathroom there. Like
No,
that wasn't a thing.
no, no.
Mm-mm.
And it's like with the organs, isn't it? Because the organ's called an organ because it heals the organs through the vibrational frequency. And some of these
Hmm.
really old church organs, I mean, oh my God. And I did find this out fairly recently that there's a couple of notes on the organ that they're not allowed to play
Oh.
because if they played them, everybody would defecate in the church at the same time because the frequency. So if you were blocked up, potentially you could have gone to a church to be cleared out if you wanted to. But fundamentally, it was the frequency of the organ with the bells, the original bells that you would have stood under with the harmonics of the frequencies that would have rebalanced you back into the area that you needed to,
Hmm. Like a detox.
completely. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I hadn't heard of
interesting
that one.
indeed. Yeah.
Because when we look at church windows, particularly something you'll notice as well, particularly in England and Europe, the old churches, the organ pipes are often opposite the round window, and the
Hmm.
round window is basically a Mandela effect, or it's a frequency converter that they'll put different colored glasses in to create a different frequency that goes out from the church, which if you cut your DNA off at the end and you hold it up and look at that in a church window, they're virtually identical.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually downloaded a picture about that today.
Yeah, I've got
Mhm.
quite a lot of pictures of that. It's really fascinating, isn't it? So,
It is. Yeah. So
so
cool.
yeah, yeah.
So
Now,
how you
honey,
doing for time, honey?
I've got to go soon.
Yes, I could feel you. I heard your higher
Yeah.
self.
I,
Honey, like I'll continue with Gary, but honey, you know how much we love you, how much I love you. Thank you so much,
Oh,
my
yes.
beloved sister, for coming as our guest on our segment. You mean the world to me. I look up to you. You're the one who I was touching my higher self, but I never knew my higher self was called a higher self. That till one day I discovered you on YouTube, and that I was following you with all of my heart. That emerald green tutorial chakra that's gonna restore free electricity through the world. And I felt connection to you. And then we've become like such great best friends. And I love
Yes.
you. Thank you
Yes.
for changing the world. Thank you in the way that you, me, Gary now, like all of us. Again, guys, everyone watching, you are the rock stars. Okay?
Hmm.
Think of Atlas 31 and Swan coming in, water, electricity zapping in. This is what we're doing, us in the simulation, a baby version, and we're rippling out because we're all one.
yeah,
Was that
We are.
beautiful?
beautiful,
That was
beautiful.
so beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm so honored that you guys had me on the show. It was beautiful. I love you guys. And I feel very happy that we're all starting to come together because that's the purpose of what we're supposed to do here. And it's like a beautiful soul group regathering and soul tribe regathering that we're doing right now. And Earth was created for communication between different beings, and that's what it's going to go back to.
Club
So,
Med.
yeah, totally a paradise. And it's going to be really us rebuilding it. And one thing I wanted to say is Atlas is an enormous being, but so are all of you. So you've like basically agreed to come down and squish yourself into a human body right now. And you have so much power to create. So I hope you guys all go out and do it. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show because I know it's going to be amazing. And I love you guys. And thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you. It's been
Mhm.
lovely to be able to talk to you finally about a bit of Tartaria stuff, and again, we just scratched the surface on that because this I know Honey's got far more knowledge than that, and we could go down some real rabbit holes in the future. I'm sure we could.
Yeah.
But amazing chat. Thank you very much for your
Thank
seeings.
you.
Wonderful for you to be here. It's been an honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Love
Thank you,
you.
Gary.
Woo!
Love you. Thank you, Richard,
Bye,
my
honey.
brother. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Hi, baby.
Bye.
Oh, wasn't she
Super. That was
lovely?
amazing. How brilliant was that?
Yes.
And it's
Wow.
really, really nice to talk about some of the Tartarian principles and get
Yes.
somebody with the knowledge as well as the ability to have a little look at that in the ether,
Yes.
just to confirm. I mean, I can do as much research as I want, and although I get knowings and little bits and pieces, fundamentally it's crumbs trying to make the loaf of bread again from the crumbs.
Of course, that's how we learn, right?
Yeah. But to
That's how
have
we
somebody,
awaken.
yeah,
Yeah.
but to have Honey there who's able just to see sometimes a little bit more than the crumbs, you get a little bit of a crusty bit or a little bit of the soft white fluff in the middle. You think, oh, that's great, that's great. So
Well, it's because we're all, Gary, my brother, Gar, we're all wired differently. So, like you said, like, dyslexia, whatever, your brain is wired, you're being so very differently. So, like you study, learn, and then you like tap into your frequency. Honey is made differently, right? She just like thinks and then taps up there. I'm a mix of maybe both,
yeah,
right? Like we're all wired differently. So as long as the message resonates in the end, if you live in fear, it's not good, like whatever someone says. But if you feel like light and fluffy, like a chicken or a swan moving, that's the truth, right? Because energy is never chaotic, like static. Energy is like water moving. So
flows.
I love it, like yeah, we all bring something different to the table, but in the end, we're all the one.
Yeah, yeah. And what's really interesting as well is that, as Richard just said, we're coming from three different angles often and three different ways of doing stuff. And yet,
Yes.
fundamentally, I know the language might be something slightly different. How somebody describes something and somebody else describes something, the energy is actually exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing we're describing. But we come from three completely different vantage points, but still got to the same ending. And
And
that's
the ending is hope, it's victory, it's not gloomy.
no, no,
I never see the end of the world as a catastrophe, nor do you, nor
no.
does Hani, nor does Isabella, our beautiful sister. I mean, there's so much of us out here, it's like, it depends. It depends. Again, the Dolores Cannon teachings, the split has happened. Fear already left the 3D. That's gone. Now we're in 5D. What does that mean? Fifth dimension, fifth density. So sometimes it just takes for the avatar, the body to catch up to where the consciousness is already pulsating too. but we're there. If you're watching this video, if you're our sisters, our brothers, the golden family, you got nothing to fear, you know? And that's what I see with like Tartaria. It is a return, but this time it's going to be like held out with that emerald tutorial heart frequency and all of us uniting. It's going to be very, very, very different. We will be able to program crystals because of that frequency. That's what I get with Three Eye Atlas and Swan merging, and then electricity. But it's going to be very different before the downfall of what has happened to Atlantis and Lemuria. It is the golden age. I feel it everywhere. And guys, you know what I mean by this? I'll give you an example, okay? I've said this in the past. We are all electricity. So we got two hands. I got a lot of rings, but it doesn't matter. So you clap 3 times. Do it with me, Gary. 1, 2, 3. Put your hands together. What do you feel?
Energy.
Isn't that like electricity?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's going to rebuild the new foundation, the restored foundation of free electricity. It is like, it comes like from our, not just benevolent, but I'm looking for a word. We are real beings. I wish I remembered. Um,
It comes from our soul. It comes from our makeup. It's our soul, our makeup, our design, isn't it? We're electrical
yes.
beings. We are electrical beings.
And by doing this, this is what happens because the two palms could be seen as portals. Every single digit would be like, not portals necessarily, but conduits almost, right? So you can feel that electricity, and that's where it comes from. So whenever we come from a heart centered, tutorial, love space, and we combine, it's like almost like the good virus, right? We spread out, and then like it absolves all the darkness, and we come back to that one singularity with that electricity. Because we're sentient, that's the word I was looking for. We're sentient. So I know, like me, it's crazy the electricity, and that's how we are now able to create from that heart chakra free energy.
Yeah.
This is what is supported right now. This is the rise of the primordial she. This is Gaia with her FU boots ready to kick. And
I,
she's been kicking,
yeah.
and she's going to kick for a little bit more, but not us.
No.
Not us, children, sentient beings. Our job is to like do this and then spread out.
Yeah. It's
That's
almost
what free electricity is going to be. It comes from in here.
it's almost us holding space, isn't it? It's about us holding
Yes,
space,
brother.
holding our
Yes.
energy, being true to ourselves. I mean, I feel more confident. Confidence, the wrong word. I am more at peace, inner peace, than I've been at for a very, very long time
Yeah.
about the whole situation. And what was fascinating when you and Honey were talking about with plasma being and all the plasma and all the energy, well, plasma is actually the fourth dimension of water. And what are we made up of? Water. What are we surrounded by? Water. There's water
Everything is
everywhere.
plasma. Everything.
Everything is water, you know. And so,
Can you talk? I gotta go answer. I don't know who's calling. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So everything is a form of water, which is that fluidness, and that allows that electrical impulse, it allows that energy to flow through us. And when we're centered and open to our higher selves in love, with no fear, we hold that space and we encourage that energy in, but we also shine it out. So when we've spoken before about being a lighthouse, be that beacon of light, that's exactly what we're talking about. The plasma within us glows that beautiful white and it shines out, you know. Loved by Jenny, I love her saying on this one little tea light will light a room. One little tea light. And if you imagine us as one or two tea lights many years ago to tens of thousands, millions of tea lights now, as we become brighter and brighter and we illuminate the room, we remove the shadow and we walk into a space of pure love, pure light, and that's where we're headed. That is the golden era as such. That is the fifth dimension, if that's the way you want to put it.
Gary, I'm sorry. I gotta feed my cats. They're attacking me. Will you stop? Did I get you by surprise? But look how pretty my hair is. I'm just gonna feed my babies because like they're devouring me like a tiger.
Yeah, so this energy that's around us, our chi energy, often the Shaolin monks, masters use the energy to do all sorts of things, you know, and I've even seen them use their hands to light a fire. They can set paper on fire. And that's how much energy we have. And remember, the Shaolin masters and the monks that do this kind of thing or have the ability to change and manipulate the energy and the field around us, they're only remembering a fraction of what we will know in the future. Because as Honey quite rightly said, the information coming in from our heart center, from Three Eye Atlas and Swan, as we grow and as we develop, you know, and as our minds catch up with our bodies and our bodies catch up with our minds, and as we get this synergy going, it's really going to start ramping up, and we're going to really start to come into our own power. And at that point, the split from the 3 to the 5 will become very obvious to us, and it'll be very clear, because the pathway to where we're going will be very clear, and it will be lit in the most brightest, amazing colors, and we will follow that path. You know, a little bit like the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy going up the yellow brick road, and we're certainly well up the pathway now. There's an awful lot to play out, of course there is, and things aren't going to happen overnight. But oh my God, we're headed in the right direction, and I feel so calm about this at the moment. I'm horizontal, you know, and I've not felt this kind of peace for some time now, and to feel that is really lovely. So they're now no longer devouring you, and they're actually devouring their
No,
food.
I fed my cats. I had a phone call, and anyways, I went to the bathroom because it was a long time, and then I had to feed the cats because, especially Dr. Boo, she won't let me walk. I mean, she's big. I love her. She's the queen of the universe. But we just gotta eat, guys. Like, I mean, she wakes me up at 4:45 every morning. I can't sleep in. It's like she's a big cat. It's like, you feed me now. Poof, poof, rare, rare. So I'm back, yes.
Superb, superb. I was just talking about how amazing this journey is at the moment, and how we're on the pathway, and we really do not have any worries or concerns about anything coming up.
There is nothing to worry about.
No, no. We're going to see lots of craziness coming out, lots of stories, lots of things that are just absolute tosh.
Well,
And
we are already seeing it. It's nothing new under the sun.
no,
It's
no.
like, let's just let go of it, right? Because that's how we change the world, Femi, guys, brother, right? That inner knowing, that leap of faith. We are not like this little eeny weeny like microbe that's irrelevant that we were like forced to believe because of the inversion. We're creator, all of us. And when we band together, we move mountains. So the phone call just actually left me a message. Oh yeah, yeah. It's because I'm so late on everything, like on all my emails, like I'm behind. Like
Yeah, I'm the
I'm
same.
busy. It's
Yeah,
good. I
it's
love
good.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
But there's only
yeah.
one Richard.
No, I know, and I have to apologise. I've had some amazing messages from lots of lovely people,
Oh my God, so many.
and catching up with them sometimes is a half a day's work on top of everything else that you got to do, and it's just like, And so, and being dyslexic, I am slack as anything when it comes to anything to do with writing and bits and pieces. So I do apologize, but I do read everything, and I will try and catch up on everything this week.
Yes, yes, yes. And we also, well, I'll talk about me, Gar. Like, I'll put also my priority on certain messages. Certain messages I get from people that I can tune into the energy or I've met before and I love, but there are certain things I just won't touch anymore. Okay, I don't do politics anymore because I think that politics, what it means, I repeat myself like a broken vinyl skipping record. It's a many parasites and it's all a show. That show is over. Again, what did I say? We're already in 5D with consciousness. We're only waiting for the avatar to like get stuck from fog or traffic to merge. It's all, I'm not gonna be doing, I love Trump, but I'm not going to be looking into anything on that kind of, unless the only way, sorry, there is an exception. When I do my monthly reading, if I see something, I'll bring it up. But I'm not touching this anymore because we've already won. I don't want to be the voice like to like insecurity. Like every time I've seen the future, win, 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 Vegas lottery winning for everyone that's sentient and real and not a hologram or an NPC. Again, the Dolores Cannon thing has shifted. So what it is, I'm not going to do this. There's enough people looking into that. So please stop coming to me with that. I love you, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's nothing personal. It's not out of disrespect, but it lowers my frequency when I go back to there. And you've all seen me in the past. When I looked into the creepy crawlies, I've cried. I don't want to go back to see an adrenochrome. Okay. Like it's over. So please respect me for that.
Yeah.
I love you with all my heart. I'll look into anything else. But there's other readers who look into that. Richard's not doing it.
Yeah.
So
You get
sorry, I just
no,
had to say.
no, yeah, no. You get to a stage where you only want to look forward, because looking forward and the things we see are so absolutely amazing.
They're
So
amazing. They're beyond comprehension.
yes,
How green. I got the Sasquatch. I got the dragons. I got Three Atlas. I got the rise of Lemuria. I got the rise of Atlantis, of humanity. I got Gaia that's back online. Like, like aggressive perhaps, but she's taking her throne back. And if you guys have got nothing to hide, you got nothing to fear. The only ones who got to fear are the creepy crawlies,
yeah,
and do no more. This is where we take out like our crystal, like harps and our tuning forks, because you are the rock stars. We only have like, we're spreading what we believe, but without you, we got nothing. You're the rock stars. I mean, how sexy is that?
awesome, awesome.
It's so
But
sexy.
but the thing is, I know, and in fact, what's coming is so amazing. I actually can't comprehend quite. I can't get my head around what we're going to see, and that's part of the joy of looking back sometimes in something like Tartaria with honey, where we get little glimpses of things that we're going back to, and that was part of the reason why we did the Tartaria stuff, because when you understand a little bit about the fundamentals of how amazing that time was, and of course there was darkness, but fundamentally it was a time. I mean, if I could time travel, I'd love to go back to that period of time just to feel the energy and to observe what was going on, because it's just absolutely amazing. But where we're going to makes that look like a dump, you know? And it may and it's going to outshine all of these things that we look at, and it's like, oh my God, and it's an amazing journey. What an amazing journey we've got. Now
Well, we're very lucky to be here alive and twitching in this. This has never been done, what we're
no,
going through.
no,
It's
this is the
never,
time of
ever, ever,
times.
ever, ever been done.
Yeah, this is the
So
time
you
of
were
times.
chosen, you volunteered. First, you volunteered. Not everyone who volunteered, babies, got chosen. Only the best of the best of the stealth. We all had difficult lives. It doesn't mean that your like soul aspect is not stealth and highly decorated.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a reason we're here. And we are all anchors, whether it be Gargar in the UK, Richard in Montreal, the squirrel there, like making love in my window to his wife. I got so many animals all around me. It's insane. But this is what it is. We're like ley lines, right? So we were all chosen to be born and live somewhere, whether we moved or not. But right now, where you live, is because this is what it is. It's a grid, that electricity, and then spreading out like through the grid. The grid, like Tron, the movie, the grid. But that's the reality. Organic as it is, it's a simulation. And what that means is we're actually all waking up as one from the dream state with Gaia. And that's where there's going to be more color spectrums and we're going to see more. And it's the Great Awakening. That's why it's called a Great Awakening. We're coming out from a dormant state. And I wore this shirt not only because, everyone knows here, I'm sure. Welcome, newbies. I love you. Iron Maiden is one of my favorite bands, yes, but I wore this shirt because look at this. It's called Peace of Mind. So we got Eddie here. That's the mascot for Iron Maiden. But look at him. He's into a mental padding room, chained up. He had a lobotomy. I wore this shirt today to represent like the older version of what we were under suppression. Okay, we were chained up, lobotomy into the matrix. The matrix is like the inversion of what is seen as a simulation. But now we are ready to break those chains free. We're
Yes.
reawakening, a remembrance. We're coming out of the dark night of the soul, that sleep state. And that is when you start going left, right, judging, blah, blah, blah. It's all about like paying attention and resonating and bounding, coming together. It's like the reverse mirrored aspect of the Russian dolls. Okay, so now it's like the smaller one opening up and like tow to the bigger one,
Yeah.
right? And that's all about Tartaria too.
Yeah.
Because our heart is what electricity is, and that's how we're going to fuel free electricity. And that's Melania's like vision of that emerald ring. Because I saw that ring. I did a video maybe 9 months ago, 7 months ago, and I did not see it actually like slipped on her finger, but I saw the symbolism, and it went beyond the Romanovs. It went to Tartaria. And what is green? It's the heart chakra.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the bringing back of online of memory, and remember, the heart is not only the thing that produces the toroidal field around us. It's one of our three brains, one of the trinities. We have our
It's a
head
bigger
brain,
brain.
we have our heart brain, and we have our gut brain. And all
Mhm.
three, when they work together, creates this amazing power.
Mind, body, soul, the Trinity. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the dumb elites have been very, very fearful of this power.
Oh,
And
and they have, but look how cute they are. Oh, little pig vomits, drooling, scurry. Wow, good riddance. Like, oh, look, gasoline in a match. Just go away now. Yeah.
now now earlier Richard was talking about politics and that he doesn't go there, okay?
I don't like it.
No, no. I I see the headlines because one of my passions is money. Okay. And the reason why I like the money is because in the past, the dumb elites have always used that as their weapon of choice to create the things
Control. Yeah.
yeah. And so I follow the money because for me, it's a way of tracking what these idiots are doing. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I understand.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, but when you're following the money, you still get the trickle down of the dumb elites, the politics, and all the other hangers on and foul creatures that are with it. But the money, their money system, is right on the edge of the end of what it is,
It's
and
done.
it is done. I
It's
mean,
fucking done.
fundamentally, what we're doing is actually waiting for them to declare the funeral because everything's dead already. It's just when are they going to do the funeral bit of it? Um, Now, I will not look at politics in any way, in any deep way, and but I will skim over it and I will occasionally make a comment on some of the stuff. But the big point of this, what I'm trying to make is, I was shown nearly 2 years ago now an image of the politicians, and the politicians as we know it and the system as we know it was destroyed. It was taken out, and the majority of yes, yes.
A pit bull gutted.
And
Yay!
so
Yay!
because Richard can see this, it's old news. Okay. Now I know for those trapped in the 3D realm still and are still watching the news and all the bits and pieces, yeah. And you're sucking into this energy, which is absolutely, personal choice. No, no problem with personal choice. But when we have the ability to see beyond that, and we can see 5 or 6 steps beyond that, and we can see what goes beyond that, that's why it sometimes feels limiting to keep talking about the stuff when we know what's going on over here, real good stuff. So I don't want the rubbish anymore. I want the good stuff
Well,
as
it's
well.
because I know what the good stuff is, and thank you, Gary. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is exactly what it is. I'm not going to be stuck in traffic. I'm going to take, like, I have the privilege, the beauty of having like a space, a platform here to talking about like what I see as inner truth through my higher self as an oracle, seeing the future. I I make less money, although I got more subscribers, a lot more. I make less money since I stopped talking about this. That speaks volumes. I chose to be stand for me as a man. This is what I'm gonna do. Okay. It's irrelevant to talk about it because we've already won. And I know I'm aggressive about it. I know I don't mean to be aggressive. But do you really want to see me go back in time and cry all over time to see like frazzle whatever that is dripping?
No.
Like that touches me too much. Like if you love me, like don't put me there.
And a lot of the stuff as
No?
well, like that, has been deliberately put there to bring you back down again. Because
Yes, and it does. When I cry,
there we
I lower
go.
my frequency. And how can I be there to like help and
Yep.
shine? Like I took a responsibility, and my oath is my manhood. I will be a fucking lighthouse.
Yeah. It's like the tarot cards. Let's go to the tarot cards. We have the Fool's New Journey, and then he takes that journey, and we have all the cards going off, and all the suits, and all the experiences going off. But
Yes,
but the tarot cards, they're not looking back. It's the Fool's Journey. A journey isn't
yes.
going back; it's going forwards. It's going forwards all the time.
It's
New
rebirth.
new experiences, and this realm is all about experiences. It's about your higher
What it
self.
is. Yes, yes.
You're having the human experience in a realm designed to give the human an experience. We just happen to be higher dimensional beings stuck inside this meat suit, this
And
avatar.
it sexy meat
Of
suits.
course, very, very in your case.
Okay, so we're grateful for them. Thank you, universe. Yeah, yeah.
But we're having this experience because even though we've probably been here 1,000 times before, who knows how many past lives, how many times we've had experiences, there's still something for us to learn, still something for us to polish up on. And we're here to have that experience. But once you've had that experience, why do you need to keep going back to the same experience? The fool's journey, the journey of discovery, they walk forward. And so a lot of the things that we would have been talking about maybe a year ago, 9 months ago, whatever it was, no longer are relevant in today going forward. And if you want
Yes.
to look at these things, Richard has an amazing back catalogue of videos.
Well, I used to talk about these
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
So go back to the back catalogue of videos where you
I
can
got like
see.
what, 400 videos by
Yeah.
now? Like,
Yeah. So go back if you're interested in that kind of stuff, because you need to have the experience and you may need to look at this stuff in a way to allow you to take your next steps to let it go. But remember, where your energy, your attention goes, your
oh,
energy flows.
flows like
What?
swan.
So I would rather be looking at Three Eye Atlas, the Swan, and all the amazing things. And I know I look at history, but I'm looking at history in the positive to show what's coming up in the future as a gauge
Yes.
to what we can expect. Okay, it's all
Yes.
positive. Richard has an amazing back channel of information. So do I. If you want to look at this stuff, go back and watch the old stuff because it's still relevant and valid. It's just that in the personal, myself, Richard has taken the next step forward, the next part of the fool's journey, the next part of the tarot journey.
Yeah, that's
And,
what I'm doing.
and so those cards that were once pulled are no longer valid. So we don't want to go back to those cards anymore.
And I'm telling you guys, like, no matter like what future collaborations might be unfolding for yours truly, Richard, I'm not gonna be doing it.
Yeah.
Even as big names, like that's my rule. Like I've already seen the outplay the end game. It's winning, winning, winning. So I love Trump. I'm going to say it again. I love Melania. I love Barian. I love what they stand for because it is on ground, it is off world, it is about us being freedom. And I do love his energy, Trump. I love that he's like a bloody tourist in a China cup store in China. I
Bull in the
like that.
china shop. A bull in the
I
china
re
shop.
I like that energy. I like loud people. I love it all. So I believe in white hats. I believe in the alliance, but I'm never gonna unless again it's a monthly. Okay, prediction. If I see something, that's all I'm ever going to do because I'm telling you, we've already won. Trump is not the devil. Trump is not a reptilian.
There are no devils in this realm at all. It's only the perception that has been placed into our head by external forces that make us make these things and create these things. And when
Hmm.
you understand that and you take the next step onwards, all the devils and the demonic fall away into nothing because they don't exist anymore.
Well, they've been cleared a lot. There might be a few cockroaches, but those cockroaches, I'm not saying that they are actually real right now. They could be like stuck in traffic, like they've been the
Residue, yeah.
residue,
Yeah, the residue energy is
the
still
residue.
around. Yeah, yeah. And that's why it's probably what we're talking about isn't going to happen in 5 minutes necessarily. We're not suddenly going to go ping into the new world tomorrow necessarily. This residue needs to
Well, it's gonna happen
dissipate
fast.
when it happens. Yeah.
Because I see there's three splits. One, two, three. They all have an eyeball. Oh, guess where we are now? Past with honey coming back on the ice wall. One, two, three. That the third one feel is seen like an earthquake, like like splitting the ground, and then past this, now I see like beautiful mist moving out of our um, simulation, or the dome, coming out of the dome. It's almost like pressure popping a balloon, and then like something's coming out. And I see us now. It's expanding, Gary. It's expanding. Ah, okay. Oh, there's going to be a lot of stuff in the waters, babies, and they are beautiful. They're big, huh? 60 feet. I know what it sounds like. But don't think of the Megadolon. If they're 60 feet, why would they want to eat a 6-foot person? That makes no sense, okay? So I see they're actually very slow moving, because I'm seeing the Megadolon is real. Um, oh, who are you? Oh, those are giants.
I think,
Vibrating.
yeah,
What?
I think we have giants in Antarctica today. And I think we have many of the things that we don't have here in this central part still in Antarctica and around. And the reintegration of the two, because it's almost like a split. We've been split from our brothers and sisters across the way. And
Yes.
it's the joining of the energies. We have to vibrate at the same frequency first, and that's now happened. I really do think the frequency,
Yes.
we're now seeing the walls coming down, and we're going to see the physical joining up of. And some of these events that are going to happen, and we can't tell you when, it feels to me very close.
It's very soon. It's already happened. We just got to like catch up to the consciousness,
Yeah,
because that timeline is vibrating, because the giants are there's a frequency coming out of them. Like I'm gonna try to like play game, but like dolphin, like bing 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 bing, like they're animating, they're shining,
yeah.
they're
A bit like the Schumann resonance that's really off the charts at
that
the moment.
that
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's an
Well,
absolute
this. Huh?
it's a fascinating time to be here. And don't get frustrated by the process, because the process has to play out. Just because you're a few steps in front, breathe, enjoy the ride, center, do your work in the love and peace, and allow those that will be joining us that aren't yet to, they will then come along. You know, you can't force anybody by words necessarily to do anything, but they feel a vibrational frequency, they feel the energy, and subconsciously they're going to be going, well, that feels a bit different, I like the feeling of
Yeah.
that, and they will join us.
Because all your soul fractals are actually all coming online, and I'm getting that a lot of you Femi members, it's while you are sleeping. So if you don't remember your dreams, it's okay. You're actually building. But if you are dreaming vivid dreamings, it's a lot of like past fractals um, coming back online, different splinters aspect of your soul being that had been like thrown out and living different experiences on timelines, dimensions. They're all coming back again, the Russian doll.
Yeah.
Um, let's spin the ball, not the bottle. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot. Whew. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So again, look at the sky. I'm seeing that version. Aloris, Beloris in Alaska is going to be seen far and beyond where it's supposed to be seen. It is a beautiful wave. Oh, okay. This is sponsored by Gaia herself. So now I know, Gary, it's going to look funny, but I have Farrah Fawcett at the center, and she's got wings, and she's Coca-Cola bottle body. Because I think that's how I see her. So Gaia, she presents herself to me because of her faucet. She has a sense of humor. A lot of people think that angelics, higher self, spirits, Gaia is lack of humor. They like humor because what is humor? It's inner child. Inner child is creativity. When you have that inner child and you have that creativity, you connect to higher self. That's how she's showing me.
Yeah.
Spin the bottle, spin the ball. Land. Yeah. Okay, so felines drag, yeah. Oh, the old circuit who used to dominate 3D template. They got chains around their wrists, and they're standing up and they're brought to their knees, and the chains are going in ground and they're fighting. They're going like, no, no, no. But they're going, and then their chin is like in the rocks and explodes. Yay. Here. Yeah, it's a new day and a new dawn, and the mirrored aspect of everything that we believed in too is going to double out. So what I'm seeing is like an accordion. Stretch an accordion, put a mirror, look at both sides, close the accordion, flip it around, reopen it. That's life. Stop. Okay, everyone, you guys who are watching this, who are actually sentient beings, who have a soul, you have a lot. Pay attention to your dreams, huh? Pay attention, because right now it's no longer a split for you, for us, for all of us listening. It's not that we are splitting out, it's that we're splitting in. So lightning strikes. There is that here, here, here. Things are coming on. So if you have heart palpitation, numbness, or when your feet go weird and you don't want to walk, what is that called? Sleepy feet or legs?
Sleepwalking.
Yeah, no, 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 no. When you have
Dead. You call it a dead leg
oh,
or a
your
dead
toes feel like they're going like this, and you want to go, toe.
cramp.
Because I feel a lot of the family are going through that right now. I see it. I see it. This is actually something so salt water. Think of Atlas. Atlas is water, and Three Eye Atlas is the electricity. Okay, you're good, Femi? So I want to look into our Femi. Spin the ball. Here. Yeah, you're going to be good. So now I'm back to Lemuria. I got the heart chakra repulsing. No, not repul. That's the wrong word. Sorry, I'm French. Sending out. Yeah. Okay. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4 branching out. Oh, we are healing 4 different timelines right now as we speak. Huh. Okay. Who are you? I've never met you before. Yeah, there's new energies coming in right now as we're making this video. They heard the video and they're coming through a portal. They come bringing a gift. The gift, how do I explain this? It feels like a genie in a bottle, but the bottle is actually the heart. So the genie is actually part of the heart, the reactivating, because I can see the heart of a human here looking like a genie bottle, but it's got eyes and nose and a top, and we're opening it. And then there's energy coming in, but that's not a genie, it's not a demon. It's we're coming online. Okay, spin the bottle. I'm just gonna say spin the bottle. I think that's so Richard say. All right, stop. Oh, babies, you have no idea what took control of the simulation yesterday. We've all heard about the creepy crawlies, but that creepy crawly is made of think about a dead animal rotting, so all you see is bones and like flesh that's rotting, but it's still walking, like how you'd see the legs of a werewolf, and hungry and hunting. Decomposition, looking for light. Oh, the dragons are here. They went for the juggler babies. There's Gaia, yes. Guys, if you could see what I can see about Gaia, our mother, like she'd be your biggest rock star. Like you'd be such like, oh, my Joan Jett, leader for like Gaia. Like, well, I'm sure most of you do, but that's how like, whew, she's alive, huh? Okay, spin the bottle. Stop. Yeah, Honey was right. There is so much passing Antarctica there. But you know what? It's not even like we need like a bulldozer to get through. It's already done, and now it's just like a baby electrical current in the water. We're already through it. So turtles. Who talked about turtles? Was it you?
No, no.
Was it Honey?
I think it was
Who's
honey. Yeah, yeah.
okay? The turtles are here. Then I have birth, a birthing, when a woman gives births, that's a vision I'm seeing, like spread and birthing. Stop. The giants are here. Freedom. Look at the skies, a lot. I've been saying this in many videos, but it's in the sky. The beauty, you're going to see a lot, huh? Some of you might see cities, like those visions of crystal cities in the sky. Oh, shit, Gary, they're all here. Everyone's here.
I know.
Everyone. There's like they're all the good ones, they're here. Waters, air, ground, fire,
It's the time of
and they're
time
all
zone.
teaming up. Huh?
Yeah, it's the time of times. It's that time. As you said, everything's going to happen quickly, but they all want to be there at the time when they how I've got how can I express this? This is the biggest show that's ever been, and the cheerleaders want to be on the side and amongst the team when the team takes it over the line, and they want to be involved in that process.
Yes, 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 but they already know that we've already done it, and why they're cheerleaders is because they're looking at us, say, you've already won. Now
Yeah,
we're looking at you, wake up.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's the cheerleading.
yeah.
Because now I have who is she? A symbolism of what I see. The Egypt queen
What,
with a
Cleopatra?
jewelry somehow.
Oh, I know who you mean.
Her.
Yeah, it is Cleopatra, isn't it? Or is it Nefertiti?
I don't know, but she's got there's jewelry made of gold of her often, a big hand. So yeah, it's about the great reawakening. Like I could see like smog and wormholes and spinning things all dissolving. I got beautiful smog like energy around the water, but it's on the water. It's not dispersed. It's like evaporating. I'm seeing a lot. You know what? This though was like there was so much, for a lack of a better word, called black magic because I can see like the timelines were infiltrated, uh, like chemtrails, like this. Like it was so. But it thought it was intelligent, but guess what? Idiot. We see you, fuckers. Huh? So yeah, that's what I get.
That's brilliant. But it's all
Sorry
positive.
again, I lose
No,
myself when
no,
I
no,
go.
no, no. It's brilliant because it's all positive and it all confirms what we've been talking about. And
Yeah.
it's just, you know, and again, I know we keep going on about the same old stuff, but please, Femi, we've got this. There's no dramas. There's nothing to
Well, we
worry about.
have it.
We do.
Yes, we
We
got
really do.
it.
We do. We do.
And we're all proud of you
Here we are.
because you are I and I am you, and we are all one. Again, the singularity, right?
Yeah, we are all one.
So I know I went a little all over the place. We started with our beloved sister and Tartaria, and because I get more energy, and the energy is that we're waking up, right? So I'm actually happy with the video. Yeah. I hope you guys like it.
It's a cracking. It's brilliant
Yeah.
because to have special guests on is amazing, and it just brings a different
Yes.
dimension, and it allows us to talk, and it's brilliant, absolutely awesome. Really am top guest.
And
So
how did you love my honey bunny?
she was amazing.
Isn't she amazing? Yes. I love her so much, as I love you so much. But I'm so glad that the two of you finally like met.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I was silent for the first part. Richard was never so silent.
Oh no, it's awesome, awesome. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's been a cracking show. And
I
before we
got an
go off,
invocation.
please, because
Yes.
it wouldn't be a rocking Pandora's box without an invocation.
Would you guys like to hear it? No, no. Would you really, really like to hear it?
I can't hear you.
I heard, yay! All right, so let me move. Isabella, the glorious one, here, and put my eyeballs on. All right, so for our angel invocation, our beautiful golden femme. Let me see here. Are you ready? Gary, are you ready?
Oh yes.
Yay! It is called the heart of the new era. Breathe with me once more, Femi. The old worlds of Lemuria and Atlantis whisper through our cells, not as tragedy, but as teaching. They remind us that machines once powered hearts. And now, in this rising age, hearts will power machines. Each thought we choose of love, each word spoken with care, send a current through the field. That current is the free energy we've been seeking. It begins inside. Emerald green and gold, spinning outward through our hands, lighting the circuits of a golden future. So let the towers rise again, not of stone, but of spirit. Let every home, every city, every breath become a living generator of compassion. We are the builders, the swan, and Atlas reunited. We are the one heart remembering itself. May this remembrance carry through your days, creating, healing, inventing, loving, until the whole world hums as one current of light. The end.
Superb. Well done. Superb. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Thank
No,
you.
no, it's been an amazing show. And I would just like to thank Honey again for coming on. It's been amazing. And you never know, she might be able to come on again another time. And brilliant invocation, Richard. Always.
I love you. Do you
Love you
watch
too.
Home Alone? Oh my God, you're so cute. Yeah.
Superb.
No, but I don't laugh at you because I really, really think you're adorable when you do
No.
that face. Like if you were a cat, say, "Oh, mine,
Yeah.
I will love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah." It's really like it's cute. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I said
No,
that.
superb. No. And you definitely have the loveliest hair of anybody I know as well, Richard.
My hair? Oh wait, really?
Brilliant.
I love you. And
Love you too.
Femi, thank you all so very much to joining us. And well, if you enjoyed or if you got comments, you know what to do with them. And we have got your back. We are the transmission that hopefully ignites something in you. And if you feel our frequency, where we are one. And that's how we change the new world back to forgotten Tartaria. Wow.
Superb. Love, light, and blessings, everybody. We love you. Bye.
Woo!